Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Battlesnake New Relic video. I am Aurora. I work for Battlesnake, and I'm very happy to introduce today Alec, who works for New Relic. Alec is very kindly going to walk us through the beautiful harmonization of taking your Battlesnake, your competitive Battlesnake, and monitoring it with New Relic for maximum value, maximum success. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So before I let Alec take over, though, I'm just going to do a quick intro, just in case this is your first time here watching a Battlesnake video. What is Battlesnake? It is a multiplayer programming game. And in it, each Battlesnake is controlled by a live web server that you program. And that web server will control your Battlesnake to have it move independently. And you want it to like find food, avoid hazards, and sort of stay alive as long as possible. So it's that classic game of Snake, except everyone has built their own Battlesnake and they're controlling it through code and a program that they have written. And you can use any programming language you like. So there's lots of choices and options. So if you're new to Battlesnake, definitely check out play.battlesnake.com. That's where all the information is. Pop in there, our documentation and how to get started. But today, though, Alec, tell us about New Relic. How can this help us?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So luckily, Battlesnakes, like you mentioned, are just, web servers that live out there and can be done in any programming language. And New Relic specializes in monitoring web servers. And, many of the popular frameworks for many languages are available. And it is basically a cloud-based system to take data from your running application, whether that is, CPU usage, memory usage, and then if you get into the web server side of things, response times, throughput, error messages, whatever you would like to monitor, on a server, New Relic provides that, with an agent that you can install, will run alongside with your application, send information back to New Relic, and then, we have all of that stored in our database is easily queryable and you can alert on it, and you can do basically whatever you need to, monitor one of those applications.
I mean, it's
and a lot of that's provided right out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, I've used New Relic all the time for monitoring production servers at various jobs, but like, why not? Does our Battlesnakes not deserve this kind of attention and love? I mean,
I think they need it, honestly.
It helps. It stands up. This is brilliant. So Alec, I believe you have built your own Battlesnake. You have been using it in competition. Are you monitoring your Battlesnake using New Relic?
Absolutely. It was the second thing I did besides hosting it somewhere. I
love it. I mean, let's share this love with the community. So we'll put a link. There's a New Relic Quickstart guide for specifically integrating Battlesnake and New Relic together. Alec is going to walk us through essentially those steps, but we'll put the link in the video description as well. But let's go. I'm going to give you the screen share here.
All right.
Take us through it.
Yeah. So here's my Battlesnake. It has been artificially uninstrumented for this purposes, so we'll be starting fresh on that in that area. So it's luckily, installing a node agent, which is what we call our New Relic agent that runs along with your code. For this one, this is a node application using TypeScript, and so what we can do is just use npm to install New Relic, and then get yourself up and running.
Nice.
Oh, and of course I'm using Yarn.
I mean, npm install, yarn install, whatever package management library you're using. But yeah, the extra pressure of typing on screen.
Yeah, so then once you get that added in there, you are pretty much good to go. There's a few different ways that you can configure the agent. One of those is a flat file that you can copy out of the node modules folder that comes along with this package. And that allows you to set up things like your license key, whether or not you want certain features enabled, whether you'd like, more in-depth tracing or something like that for your application. Those can all be changed there. Those can also all be changed via environment variables. And for something like, say, you're running this in Docker and you don't really want to check in a file with, your license key in it or something like that, we provide environment variables to do a lot of that for you. So
nice. And I'm
we'll be doing.
And I'm guessing instructions for setting environment variables or the format of that flat file, that's going to all be at the sort of top level, like Quickstart New Relic documentation.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, that'll all be in the guide as well. That'll
Nice.
cover that. So that'll be able to get that all set up there. Mainly the two ones that we're worried about for just the initial setup of an agent for your application are, I'm not going to open my file because I actually have those on my actual numbers on there, but here we're going to be doing the new Relic no config file, and that's going to tell it to use environment variables instead of, say, that configuration file. And then you would also set your license key and your app name. And in my case, it's Shai-Hulud.
An excellent Battlesnake. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Very topical, right? But yeah, so those environment variables I do already have set up over on DigitalOcean, where I'm hosting this Battlesnake. So we don't need to worry about doing those right this instant. At this point, there's not much else you have to do. Like I said, a lot of this is provided out of the box. So we're getting, things like our, HTTP response times, like, how, like throughput, we're getting all that like main information that you would want from any web server right off the bat. So as soon as this is in there and configured, you get that information. So what I can do is just do the last step there, and that's just going to the entry point of your application. In this case, it's index.ts. This is based off of the TypeScript starter project for Battlesnake. So you'll see a lot of similar stuff if you start with one of those. And pretty much all you need to do is import New Relic at the top here. So you would just do, import, or if you're using Node, you can always just do a require New Relic, and that would be considered totally valid. In this case, I am using TypeScript, so I have a little bit of transpiling going on. So I can just do import New Relic from New Relic.
Nice.
And then that tells it to get up and running. And when you start your application, and then at that point, you now have your Battlesnake instrumented. We're going to go into some more stuff that you can add to get some more in-depth information about like Battlesnakes as a whole, but now your web server is instrumented. So what we can do now is take something like this. Here we get my status real quick.
This is nice and easy though. Like you just got like your yarn or npm install New Relic, and then just import it into your project. That's pretty smooth. That's okay. That's worth trying.
Yeah, and then after that, it's just pushing it up and letting it run. Brilliant. Like I said, everything that we've done so far is totally available with the free New Relic account. You don't need to even input a credit card number to get to this point. You will just be up and ready to go. And next up, I can swap over to my other screen to show what kind of data that you're going to be getting in once you get yourself running here.
Cool. So as you do that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about actually running your Battlesnake. So in order to use New Relic, you will need to have your system somewhere on the internet available. And that's the same is true for running Battlesnake as well. So if you're a new Battlesnake developer and you're using a tool like Replit or some sort of like all-in-packaged hosting service, it may be a bit challenging. But this is a great excuse to start exploring with tools like DigitalOcean, which Alec is using here to deploy his server. Or if you want to use something like local, like ngrok, Battlesnake documentation gives more information and suggestions and ideas on different either cloud platforms you can use or help for running locally. Just so long as you're connected to the internet and you've got your Battlesnake running, we can get New Relic installed and working here. All right, let's see these dashboards, Alec.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is the main view. When you're hopping into New Relic here, you'll see we have my application here along with a bunch of test stuff as usual. And then this is what you get by default out of the box when using just the New Relic agent by itself. So what I have running here is the Node.js New Relic agent. That's what we just set up in the Snake. And then this is what that is providing to you right out of the box. We have things like our web transaction time, So you'll see here I'm sitting at a nice 120 milliseconds average-ish over the last half hour, which is not bad at all. I'll take
Pretty
it.
dang good.
You have your app deck score. This is something that can be very useful for a website or anything like that. I think it becomes a lot less useful when you're coming into something like a Battlesnake doesn't have a front end or any kind, or isn't quite serving any users there. But we also have wonderful things like throughput here. So it's just number of requests coming through. You have your error rates, and then it also automatically picks up your routes because it's set up to work with Express and a lot of the other, popular HTTP frameworks for Node and for Go and for basically Python, any language you want to use. We have those available to you. And then if it's not available out of the box, there are ways to add the instrumentation in there to get that information. So you'll see here, it's automatically pulled in. We've got our move endpoint, our end endpoint, and our start endpoint, and we can see what the average response time is for one of those endpoints as well here.
Nice.
And then there's a bunch of other stuff. I encourage you to go play around. I don't think we need to go and do all of these right here, but it has a lot of stuff where like you have like external services that you're calling, like say you're hitting some other API or something like that, and if you have databases connected. And then it also has a nice one here that goes into the inner operations of the Node VM. So this has stuff like, your garbage collection pause time, which actually caused me to go over 500 milliseconds once. So that was really interesting that the garbage collection was the cause of that one. So yeah, it's some information that can be very useful when you need it.
Just solving those mysteries when you're not sure, like, why did your Battlesnake behave a specific way? It should have behaved this way. Why did it time out? And just seeing that New Relic is tracking a lot of these server details for us and we can go back and look at what happened. I mean, that's just incredible insight.
Yeah, it really does help out a lot. And I will say, if you're not running, if you're running this on a server as well, you can pull in the host monitoring agent that we have with the infrastructure agent, and that will give you a lot of extra information just about the host that you're running on, stuff around like overall CPU usage, overall memory usage, overall storage available, and things like that. And so if you're running, like on a Raspberry Pi, that could be kind of useful. Or if you're, or maybe you're running it on just an actual server or an EC2 instance or anything like that, that can give a lot of extra information that can be useful.
Nice. So these dashboards that we're looking at right now, these are like your sort of generic default New Relic dashboards, but I believe there's some special Battlesnake stuff, is there not?
Absolutely, yeah. So this right here is called the APM, or Application Program Monitoring section. So this is what's going to come out of the box by default. And then, yes, with New Relic IO, we have come up with some extra Battlesnake specific dashboards and instrumentation to help you monitor and track your Battlesnake throughout any kind of tournament play or whatever you're trying to do. So I can just take us over there real quick. Wrong one.
Get that navigation. I mean, there's a lot of buttons on a New Relic dashboard, so nice to see.
There's always a good amount of buttons. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. Yeah, so then we can go over here, over to New Relic Instant Observability, and New Relic Instant Observability, or New Relic IO, is our ecosystem for basically just getting people running out of the box with whatever stack you want to monitor. The idea is we want collections of, reusable and useful dashboards and alerts for, any type of programming language you're working on, any type of problem, library, just getting that predefined list of good stuff that you probably want to be monitoring and allowing it to be easily installed to any account that you have. So right here is we have this wonderful Battlesnake Quickstart created by another one of my team members. I helped a little bit there, but there we are. So we've got the Battlesnake, and this includes 3 dashboards, mainly around Battlesnake performance, Battlesnake server status, and then I think we also have Battlesnake game tracking down here. And then this one doesn't include any alerts because I'll be honest, I can't say I've ever want to be pinged at 3 a.m. for my Battlesnake going down. So there's none currently set up on there. So then for something like this, it's pretty easy to go install. You just go hit install this Quickstart. Here we are. This is just letting us know that we'll need to go in and add some custom attributes, which we will go through in a moment. We can say we're done there. It will give us the dashboards, and then it'll go over here and pops over to those dashboards.
Nice.
So now if you were to click on, say, one of these dashboards, you'll see you have some information here. I have a little bit of extra information because I have been sending data in. You probably wouldn't see information quite that quickly. If you were going through it yourself, you might want to give it a minute or two, and then you will see that coming in. But before we get to the point of sending data in for these dashboards, we need to just do one last little step, and you'll see the instruction tab on this dashboard will take you over there. So you see step 1 is instrument your Battlesnake server with the New Relic APM agent, which is what we already did. And step 2 is just going over to our nice little experimental repository here, which just basically has a few scripts for, I think, JavaScript and Python currently. We're looking at adding Golang support as well. But all these do are just some little scripts you can copy and paste into your snake, and they will just grab some extra information off of the move and end requests that are coming in when you're playing games, and send those over to New Relic so that we can populate the information that you're seeing here in the dashboard.
Awesome.
So yeah, then we can come over here. There's a little bit of extra information here, but we'll go into the JavaScript one. So all we really need to do is follow the instructions here and grab this get custom attributes file, which I will just copy and paste. I am now going to need to move over to the other screen.
Yeah, let's get you into your, and no shame. There's nothing wrong with a good copy. But definitely take a chance, like take an opportunity if you're doing this for yourself. See what's in there, see what the configuration is. It can give you a little bit of information, insight about how to do this kind of thing for yourself. But yeah, let's get this wholesale copy paste file into your Battlesnake.
Yeah, so we can just go in source real quick. I'm just going to call it Quickstart attributes.js. You can really call this whatever you'd like because this is just some helper functions to get some extra information. If we go in here, there, we can paste what we have here. This is just some extra typing so that it's like a little bit easier to work with. And I can kind of go through what's going on in this file here. What we have is some custom attributes here that are pulled off of the move request of a game. So this is some stuff around, the game ID, the rule set, what turn it is, how big the board is, some stuff about like your snake name, and then some other information on other snakes. That includes like their IDs, health, lengths, and then other data related to that. And this is all encoded for future use. Not a lot of this is used currently in the dashboards we're looking at, but we do plan to do some future stuff with some of like the more extensive game information in the future. And then if you come down here, there is one more similar function that is called get custom attributes end. This is basically the same idea, but more just getting information about the game as a whole when it has ended. So, here we got some basic information that you saw before around like the game, your snake's name, health, length, that kind of stuff. But then we also go in and grab some more information around the name of the winner, the game ID, the if you won or not, and then a replay link that'll take you over to battlesnake.com.
Awesome. So this is really taking the sort of configuration from New Relic and then combining it. I mean, this is all the game.id, game.ruleset.name. This is all from the Battlesnake API, so that JSON payload you get with every move request and also at the end request. So for anyone looking to map these up and see how this fits together, you can see the API endpoints at docs.battlesnake.com. There's a whole reference there listing all of these things, especially if you want to edit or modify or enhance this. Great.
Absolutely. Yeah, so then we can see exactly how we get that information from the move requests next. So if we go into our entry point for our application, we're going to just want to import that file we just created, add custom attributes. And it is get custom attributes.
Awesome.
Classic.
Cool. So far, while Alec types so he doesn't have to talk and think at the same time, we have so far installed via npm and yarn the new Relic package. We have imported it here at the top, and we've just taken the sort of sample file for the configuration, copied that into our project, and now Alec is modifying his base Battlesnake file, so his index file right now, to actually start pulling this data, serving this, getting this all hooked up. So the correct information at the end of the move request and at the end of the end request is being sent off to the new Relic servers, so we can parse that data and see it in some pretty graphs.
Perfect. Yeah. So if everyone remembers earlier, we imported New Relic up here. So by accessing the the New Relic library, we can go in and go in and add information to those transactions we were looking at earlier. If you remember in the New Relic UI, there was the transactions that were automatically detected for move and start requests. And what we're going to do is just basically add some more fields to those requests so that we can look at them in New Relic. So those are pretty easy, but it's just New Relic dot add custom attribute. Here's where my confusion came in earlier. And then we just actually it's add custom attributes. So we're adding more than one. And then so that's what these nice functions that we just copied and pasted earlier. Those basically are just there to pull that information together from the game request into a format that New Relic.add custom attributes can accept.
Nice. And just passing the entire request body JSON object in there. Very convenient. It's appreciated.
Oh, yes. Keeping it easy, trying to keep it easy there. And then down here, it is actually exactly the same. We just do get custom attributes end and then send in the request body for the end of the game request.
Nice.
And there we go. Then now this information will be flowing into New Relic. And that allows us to power some dashboards that we're going to go look at next here.
Brilliant. And of course, like what we're seeing here, this is the example for a node application, but for the exact library commands and functions you want to import for other programming languages, the written documentation can help you out if you're doing this in JavaScript or in Python or what have you. But let's see what the defaults get us, even just this beginning bit here. Nice.
Yeah. So now that you have that added and it's out there running, you'll start getting some data in for those same transactions that we were talking about earlier with just more information added onto them. So let's go in and check out some of these dashboards. So we have to start, we have the Battlesnake performance tracking. So this gives you just a lot of information on just how your snake is doing over time in games. So this is giving you stuff like the number of games played against opponents, and then like the number of turns made with other snakes present, a list of like the snakes you've most played against, survival, the most turns you survived, 673 turns. Wow,
that's not a bad game.
That's insane. So then here you go. You have your games with most turns over the last week. So it gives you kind of information how you're doing. I'd be freaking out if this was all like, under 20 or something like that. I think something might be very wrong in that situation. And then here we have some more information about like, your longest snake length. And then same with here. And then we have some more stats down here around like the game types that you've played, the number of games you play per day, and the number of snakes per turn there.
Nice.
Yeah, and then if we can go back here, on top of that, we have the game tracking dashboard. So we had the performance tracking. This is going to be more about just the games as a whole. It's not really caring about how you did during those games. It's more just like, did you win or did you lose? It's more what we're talking about here. So if we zoom out a little bit here, right now it's in the default time range, about 30 minutes. We can bump that up to be 6 hours. So we pull in a little bit more extra data here. But here we'll see, the total games played, wins, losses, draws, that kind of stuff. We'll get some information here. This is just wins and losses in a pie chart. And then we also have wins and losses by game mode here as well. Actually, that might be a little, I think I forgot to update that. This is supposed to be game type here. And then what I think is one of the big features that you get out of this one is we do have the recent games here table, which gives you information about like who won the game, when it ran. This, however, is based on your server time, so it may not match up to whatever time zone you're in. You may need to adjust that, just FYI. Then I have like the game rules, the number of turns, and then we also have a link out to the replay here that's generated based on the game ID. So you can just click that and go right over here and view the game and find out whether you won or lost.
Yeah, dig into those details. How did it go? Was it particularly noteworthy? Yeah.
Yeah, and then here we have just like wins and losses over time in a stack chart. And then we also have like wins by game type and losses by game type that you can look at here. And one of the big things I like to do with something like this is, look at, there was a tournament running last night or a league running last night. Then I can just, bump up my time range to 12 hours, hit this button here, and that will filter everything here just by my losses. So now the only thing showing up on this dashboard are my losses, and I can go and work through those. Or if I just wanted to look at my wins, I could do that as well. Or if I just wanted to say, look at Royale game mode, you could just look at your games in Royale.
Nice. This is a lot of like default out of the box information for a Battlesnake developer. You can get a lot done with just this, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it helps out a lot just to get that historical view and to be able to just look at a lot of stuff in aggregate. It helps out a lot there. Nice. Yeah, and then there was one other dashboard that I can go over here, which is the Battlesnake server status. I will have a little bit less data flowing into this one currently because I am just running mine not on a host and in more of a containerized fashion. But if you're running this on a host, you could get a lot more information here, especially if you're running with, say, the infrastructure agent and getting that extra bit of like on host information about what's running. So you'll see here, just have a little bit out here, but we have like the moves per minute, a lot of that kind of stuff. And then you can get in here and it can go over like CPU usage, disk free memory usage, throughput. I just don't have that information on mine currently, but you will get it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the dashboards.
Yeah. Anything else we should know? I mean, this is just the default out of the box. Anything else we should know about this like first setup for Battlesnake and New Relic?
No, I think that is it. I think that'll like this will get you up and running. It's just basically 3 steps. It's make a New Relic account, install the Quickstart, and then just follow those instructions for adding your agent and those get custom attribute functions, and then you are good to go. You just need to go deploy this somewhere, and you're all set up.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Alec, for walking us through this. Do check out, so we're going to be doing a second video where we go beyond this quick start tutorial. It's called Getting Your Battlesnake League Ready with New Relic, and we're going to start changing stuff. We're going to start getting a little customization in there. But in the meantime, check out the quick start guide, which will be in the video description. So you can go through this and do it yourself. And as for other information, don't forget to check out the Battlesnake blog, the Battlesnake Discord, check out other content on Twitch. There's lots of information and access to the community and resources to help you get your Battlesnake going. So that'll be it for us today. Thanks, Alec, and we'll catch you again in the next video.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one.